Hey, beautiful people. It's your girl, Natalie Lee Martin, and we are here with the moms for the Mom CEO podcast. I'm here with my co-host.
Lori Keaton, the six-figure COO. How are y'all doing today?
Yeah, they're doing great. They're back again. So they are enjoying the episodes and enjoying all of the
Yes.
amazing guests that we have. And listen, we are not going to disappoint you this time. We have Vandee Flake, the #1 best-selling author, mom, and entrepreneur. Let me get her name right. Vandee Flake. I don't want to mess up anybody's name. And
Yes.
she loves connecting with women just like us. And she also has her own podcast, joyfulflakes.com, where she talks about finding joy in every day. So let us bring out Vandee Flake, also a mom CEO, up to the stage. Got to give her a round of applause.
Yes. Welcome.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yes. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome today. So it's a good day. So
yes.
We're excited to have you here, and we're excited to learn more about you, your business, and everything that you have in store. So why don't we start things off with you telling us a little bit more about you, your family, and what it is that you do.
Awesome. So yeah, my name is Vandee Flake. I am a mom of 4 kids ranging in age from 16 to 6. I cannot believe I have a 16-year-old. It's just like crazy. Yeah, my husband and I started our business 11 years ago, and we have been full-time. My anniversary is coming up, you guys, on,
wow.
9 years ago, I put in my notice at my job and said, okay, I'm not doing this parallelpreneur thing anymore. I'm going full-time. And
congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you. So the reason I'll just dive into my story a little bit because I why is I did everything right. I was the oldest of 7 kids. I wanted, knew I wanted to get out of the town. I grew up in a town of 500 people, very, very small. Mm-hmm. And I knew if I wanted to go anywhere, I had to get a scholarship. I wanted to go to college. I was the first person in my family to graduate from college. And I did it with scholarships. I did it with my grades. And then I got a job, and I was kind of like trying to climb the corporate ladder. I got married. I had a baby, and I just felt like I was a failure. We were on the hamster wheel. We were living paycheck to paycheck. Things weren't like horrible, but they weren't where I thought I would be. I wasn't the mom I wanted to be. I felt like a failure. I didn't have the time, to invest into my, relationship with my kids or my husband. And so when we got introduced to, I do network marketing, and I have looked at it before, but I never found something I thought I could be passionate about. And I found a way that would help me with my health, help me sleep better, have more energy. That was what I was kind of looking for. At the time I just turned 30 and I had 2 little kids. I was exhausted. But so I found something. And then I started looking at the business side, and at first it really didn't hit me. Like I was like, maybe we can make a couple $100 to supplement our income. Mm-hmm. I wasn't really thinking it would be a full-time shift for us. But, as I learned more about the industry, as I learned more about the opportunity and kept finding more moms, that's kind of my passion is moms who wanted to make a difference, moms who wanted some extra income, moms who wanted to make enough for a car payment, moms, who wanted a tribe of friends, because sometimes being a mom can be lonely.
Yes.
And, but they didn't want to, I've coached a lot of moms that are like, but if I go back to work, by the time I pay childcare, I'm not making any money, and so finding something where you could have, the support and build both ways. Mm-hmm. And so when we started building that way, I found a home. I found a tribe of women that lift me up. I found a tribe of women who make me a better person, and that I got to help bless. You know, to me, it's one of my favorite things when someone texts me and says my check was bigger. I paid my house payment this month. I paid my car payment this month. And when you have that, we just got to have a convention and get back together for the first time, with COVID. And it wasn't as big as it normally is. But a couple came up to me and they told me, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for what you did, because it changed my life. And this has blessed me. And, sometimes when we're in the hard things, we don't realize how much we have to give and how many people's lives we are touching and blessing with our business. And that's just why, that's why I'm passionate about this. It was funny when we connected because, we use the CEO brand as creating entrepreneurs online and taking charge of your own life.
Yes.
Because I love Mel Robbins, nobody's coming to, save you. Nobody's coming to change you. I heard Lisa Nichols speak. I do a lot of personal growth stuff, guys. So we had Lisa Nichols speak, and she was talking, about that individual shift. Like, we had to get it inside of us. And that's just where I'm passionate, is we are here to live our best lives. We are here on this earth to make a difference. And the Lord does not want us to live small. He does not want us to, watch Netflix and eat ice cream and, yell at our kids. He wants us to make a difference in the world and make this world a better place and stuff. And sometimes it's hard, to get it through our own head that we are worthy of that. Mm-hmm. So.
Listen, I was taking notes, so y'all saw the little pen and
Yes, you said a lot in that one short answer.
You said so much. Okay, let me see. I know where I want to tackle. You said the importance of having a tribe. So I want you to speak a little bit more on that, because I know, especially for Lori and I, during this season of growth, we noticed that some people were falling off, and then God was bringing new people into our circle. So why is it so important for a mompreneur or a mom CEO to have that tribe? And what tribe should they, have?
Well, and it's funny. So I did a training a couple years ago in Hawaii with a girlfriend, and I told them that they would make incredible friends in this, doing this business. And she told me, she goes, I've got good friends. So on stage, she just had a huge award, recognition. And she said, she shared part of that. She goes, I have made incredible friends. I have built a tribe. And the reason that is so important is I don't care what you're doing, whether you're making candles and selling them, you're making jewelry and selling it, and I love all these people. I try to support mompreneurs all over,
Yes.
But when it's hard, there's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of hard things. There's a lot of people that are like, I want it free. I don't want to pay, well, you're going to give me that, or, but when you have a support system, so you can be, you're in business for yourself, but you don't have to be in business by yourself. That you can have a support system. So when you're having a bad day, you can raise your hand and say, guys, I just got this blah text, or I just got, life's happening. And the comparison I want to give for moms is I had a similar situation happen twice in my life. When I was working my job, and I had a good job, you guys, I made good money. It was a smaller group of people. There were a lot of good people in there. But there was a lot of that corporate America push, well, yeah. I don't fit your kid's first day of kindergarten. We need you at work. We've got a meeting, I don't have to be at that meeting. You guys don't need, but they don't get all that. So my son got sick, and he was, he was very ill, but he wasn't sick enough to go to the doctor. You know how that is, where you just have to keep him hydrated, and there's nothing the doctor's going to do until they're too dehydrated to put them on IVs. And until then, there's nothing they can do. And you just have to go through that 3 days of sickness and let it run its course. First day, and I just said, I'm staying home. This is my most important thing. My boss was understanding day 1. Day 2 shows, did you take him to the doctor? Day 3 is, why aren't you taking him to the hospital? And it was kind of upsetting. And I was still answering emails, doing stuff while I'm sitting there watching, what was his favorite show? Go Diego Go. The little shows, whatever show they liked at the time. They all change every year.
Yeah.
Now it's control. And I was doing what I could do. And then fast forward, a couple of years ago, my son got sick, and we were supposed to, and it wasn't a big deal. I was supposed to go host a little meeting, and we were doing like a dinner. I text my friend, I said, my son is sick. I'm not going to be able to do there tonight. And this is in our network marketing group. And she wrote back and said, can I bring you dinner? What do you need?
Oh my gosh.
And that's why you need a tribe. Because it's the tribe. I wish I could show the video. We had a guy, one of my mentors stood up, and he sang that "This Is Me" from, The Greatest Showman soundtrack.
Yeah.
And the whole crowd, like 100 people, stood up and started sharing and singing with him. And just that passion, I actually ran up on stage so I could video behind him so he could see later the impact he was making. And it was, but that is what we are trying to create, is a movement, a CEO movement of, inspiring people to be the best self. And we're in, kind of I've been doing the same company, the parent company, but taking some of that and building together, a tribe of people that are working together. And I have one huge blessing of a tribe. But this year, as I've been working through my, different things that we all do as a business, your, whatever you want to call it, your SWOT analysis, your goals, your vision boards. I've been doing a lot of self-growth and self-development, because I've hit a point where we've been very comfortable for a number of years with our business. We have been very, very blessed. We are in the top of the company. But the Lord hit me with a very specific saying. It said, you have blessed all these people, but there's another group of people that I was waiting for you to step into your next level. And they're waiting. And that was a little hard, because
wow,
sometimes we have that imposter syndrome hit us upside the head. And there's times where I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do what I need to do, because it's hard to show up as our best selves. It's hard to do those things, and we are being bombarded sometimes with the negative. So to work through some of those, and to realize that, when you are supposed to come, you guys probably had the same things happen when you went to start this podcast to bless so many women's lives. There's a lot of things that happen, we're like, I thought I had some stuff going. We're still, launching. I just got the first 3 episodes finally uploaded because I was having some technical issues, and it's hard. And sometimes you're like, well, maybe I shouldn't do it.
Yes.
No, just stop. It's not perfect. And I have on my board over here, it says, progress is better than perfection. Because I'm a bad habit of, I don't want to do it if it's not perfect. I don't want to put it out there and mess it up. I don't want to be messy and learn. But we have to grow. We have to learn through that process so that we can become better people. And that's how we can share the story. And it's just, I think it's important that, that people know that they know what they want out of life, and then find the right mentors. There are a lot of coaches and a lot of mentors out there, but you want to find the one that resonates with you. You want to find one that you feel like they have, the system that connects where you can do it, and that they have what you want, because you always want to follow someone that's just a little bit ahead of you. You don't want them so far ahead that they can't, relate, but you want them ahead enough that they inspire you. Stuff. So
that's great.
Yeah. You said so much, Vandee. But I did want to touch on before I hand it over to Lori, is when you told that story about being in corporate and then your boss saying, by day 3, why is he not in the hospital? And then when you went to your friend from the network marketing group, she was like, oh, okay, what can I bring you? That resonated with me, because when I was in corporate as well, or in the classroom, my sons, they were sick when they were little. I don't know. It was like viruses going around all the time, especially when they were in daycare. And I remember having 3 days off. And when I came back to work, my boss made me feel so bad that I cried in his office. And my husband was like, you don't need that job. You need to quit. But I was like, this is where I'm called to be. I want to be a teacher. I want to be able to show up for my kids, but I want to also show up for my own children. And so that really resonated with me.
Yeah.
And I see the importance of having the right people and a tribe around you. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Well, it's important to have the right people, because this is what hit me. The first big training I went through, and you guys have probably heard a variety of this quote, is we become the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with, And the first time I heard that, it hit me upside the head, because with the exception of my husband, the other 4 people I worked with closely at work were a little bit negative, were a little bit backbiting. And I realized, with some self-reflection, and it's not always easy. It's never easy to look at yourself and say, but I realized that I had become a version of Vandee that I didn't like. Wow. I was not the optimistic, happy person that I, wanted to be. I was not in that giving, there's a difference when you're in, the gratitude space versus the, negative space.
Yeah.
And I realized that I wasn't where I needed to be, and I needed to change that. And, it's not easy. And every day is a process, but by surrounding yourself, and I had somebody ask me, they said, but I don't know how. I said, the neat thing right now with social media is we have a unique opportunity that we can kind of hack who we put in our brain. The podcasts we listen to, the books we read, the social media we curate, because your social media, unfollow, block, it doesn't matter if that's your cousin or brother's uncle, or friend. If they are negative, if they are not bringing that space to you that you need, block them, take them out of your life, and fill your head intentionally with, that's my word of the month, is intentional. Be intentional. Fill your head intentionally with those people. And that's one of the things I actually talk about in my book. Yes, I can. But I share that. I share tips for mompreneurs and stuff, because it is a hard journey. And if you don't pick the people in your head, and you're not going to be where you want to be, if you don't pick the team, and they don't all have to be. I have a great group of Clubhouse friends right now. We met on Clubhouse, they're not in my business doing it with me, but they're holding me accountable. They're holding me, filling my bucket with positivity every day. And so that's where you want, with social media, you can hack those people in your head by using positivity.
That's so true. Yeah, I love that. And it's so important how you, like you said, how you monitor the people that you listen to, because the voices that you listen to can affect your thinking, your mood, your attitude, everything. And if you listen to it over a period of time, that becomes your your go-to reaction when things happen, right? So I know you have this podcast called Joyful Flake. So we did talk about how we can use social media and other platforms to help us or give us more positive and encouraging voices into our lives. So how do you use your podcast to do that?
Well, part of our podcast, and we are still, getting started here, but we went through a number of words, probably same as you guys, how, what's our message? What's our pillars? So I'm going to back up a little bit. We were traveling full-time in an RV when COVID hit. We were traveling around the United States with our family in an RV with 4 kids. And it was all of the things people say. It was crazy. It was fun. There were some cool things. There were some hard things. But when COVID hit, and we ran into it twice where we couldn't really get food. The grocery stores were out. At the time, we had no idea what this was going to look like, what was happening. So we left Texas, and we had just barely booked all of our stuff. We were heading over to Florida, and then we're going to go up the East Coast to New York. My daughter had gotten into this really amazing youth program up in New York that's really difficult to get into. And then all of that was canceled. Everything was upside down. And I was feeling just blah. I talk a lot about the apathy versus depression. There is depression that is real and needs real help. But for a lot of us, we struggle with apathy. We just don't care, and we don't want to step out and do those little things we need to do. And so I collected a list of what I called happiness jelly beans. And they're little tiny things that we can do every day. And they're little, like drink enough water, take a shower, get dressed, go outside in the sunshine, you exercise, you can do all of those things, your prayer. And I have a big list. And so I started spending time on social media, sharing some of this idea and these points of how we find, happiness each day. And the reason I did it was for me, because that's what I was struggling with, because I found that when I was having bad days, when I was struggling, and, and I've had some, some health challenges. I've had a bunch of cysts on my ovaries, which just lay me flat. Wow. But when I was struggling mentally, I found that I wasn't doing those little things to help me have a better day. I wouldn't take, my activators. I wouldn't drink I call my Axio my happy mama juice, or my go-go juice, because it gives me that, it's vitamin D's and D, all of that stuff. So it gives me that focus and that energy. But I didn't want to drink it. I didn't want to do those things that helped me find the happiness each day. And so I started talking about those. So when we were shifting into this podcast, so we started writing things about us. What do we feel like we had something of value? Well, we have been married 21 years. We have 4 kids. We've been an entrepreneur. If you want to test your marriage, live in an RV for a while. There's a whole shirt, I still love you, even, no matter what I said when you're backing up the trailer, there's all of this, these funny stories we have that we've created. But at the end of the day, it's finding joy in that journey. It's finding that too many of us are like, I'll be happy when I'm done with school. I'll be happy when my business is making this. I'll be happy when my kids are all in school. I'll be happy when I have a baby. I'll be happy when I get married. Whatever it is, instead of realizing we've got to find joy every single day. We've got to find happiness every single day. And so that's where we kind of came. Sorry, that's a really long answer, Lori, but how we came to Joyful Flakes was that finding joy in the journey, and finding that joy, even in the midst of when things are crazy, even when the midst of, the kids are late or whatever, and I think about this, like my son came in the other night and he had this stick where he tied flowers and leaves to it and made a little art thing. And I was in the middle of some family drama going on. And, I'm like, oh, that's nice, honey. But as I've thought about it more, that was his work of art. That was something that made a big deal to him, and I didn't react the right way. But we can't change the past, but we can be more aware so we can react better in the future, and today's all we have. So that's how it is it came from, some of that of me fighting my own apathy, me fighting my own issues to, how do I look for joy every day? How do I look for love and acceptance and then to give that back out into the world? So last year when I did a retreat, part of what came out of that is I felt the need to tell my story. And I was going to just write Facebook on there. Mm-hmm. And we talked about, and I just put, no, I'm just going to tell my story. I'm going to share and see if I can inspire other people. And then I found Clubhouse, and I've had more opportunity to talk there and connect with other moms than I ever thought I would. So it's been a huge, evolution. But that's what it is. We just hope to inspire people and give people that where they can find joy every day and live their best lives.
I love that. Absolutely love that. Oh, wow, Vandee, you have just dropped so many gems. I'm going to definitely be watching this episode again. But I wanted to shift gears just a little bit and talk about you being a #1 best-selling author. How many books have you written? Because I know it's more than one. And if you could share those with us, and what was the journey like to becoming #1?
Well, first is always your vision. It's got to be on your board. I have been a reader since I've been a child. That's what I got for Christmas. That's what I wanted to do for holidays. If it was summer, growing up, we got grounded from reading. That was the kind of reader I was. I loved to read. And I always thought about writing a book, but some of it seemed overwhelming and daunting. Again, the power of social media. I was able to meet, I should grab it real quick. Hang on. All right. So because of social media, I met this gal. Her name is Dr. Izdihar Jamal. She's a PhD from Malaysia. Mm-hmm. She has an incredible story herself. They had moved to England, and then her husband got his dream job to move to LA. Mm-hmm. And being a Muslim, moving to America, she had a lot of challenges. I mean, poop thrown on her doorstep, horrific things. And she wanted to hide, even though she's had all of this stuff. And she felt a calling, to help other, mainly women, write books. And so she kind of figured out the system. And so what she does is she collects stories. So my two books that I've done with her are Yes, I Can, and It Is Done. And both of these have 15 different entrepreneurs who jump in and share their story. And to me, to write that, and I almost stopped because of that imposter syndrome. You can't do that. Who are you to write a book? And she wrote back and I said, I don't know. And she's like, Vandee, you paid for it. Just do it. Wow. You can do it. And, and so it is. And the neat thing about these books that I really, really love, and on my website, Vandee Flake, you can find the link to buy the ebook, or if you want the real book too, I'll drop those links in there. But
yes,
where is it going with it? The neat thing about this is every entrepreneur in there shares what they did or their story, and then they share an action tip. Here's the 3 things I want you to remember from this story, and here's something you can implement today, to live your best life. And that's one of the things that I just love about the book. It's funny because my husband's never read it all the way through. Mm-hmm. But I leave a copy in the bathroom, and he goes, anyway, he picks it up and he's like, wow, so-and-so said this. And it resonated with me.
Wow.
And every time, like, I've been trying to do like a sharing, and I knew I had to share something, and I'm like, I am just mind blank today. You know, sometimes you're like, I don't know what else to share. And so I'd go through there and I'd read someone's story and look at their tips and say, yep, oh, I can incorporate that. I can incorporate that and stuff. So it's a really powerful thing. And yeah, and then Izzy came out with the magazine, the Spotlight magazine, where she asked me to share 3 tips for mompreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a TED Ed talk with her. She's just really into like that, stepping into the next level, getting, you know, featured on speaking and stuff. I haven't done as much right now with her because going in as a speaker, you know, as a motivational speaker and stuff is not really where I want to go with my business. My business, my calling, I feel like right now is to find that next tribe, that next group of moms who are looking to supplement their income but want help. They don't know where to get started. They're like, I just need help. And whether it is, I've had people that are, you know, entrepreneurs that say, yep, I just want to add one more side thing to my thing. And I've had moms that are like, I've never worked outside the home. I don't even know where to start. Mm-hmm. You know, that have all found, it just depends on what you want. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you follow me on social media, we'll be dropping the next Spotlight magazine. And I try to drop and share the books once in a while. But because of that, I don't know if I still have it up here. I don't think I put it up. But I saw my son has started to put together his own little books by Vandee Flake, you know?
That is
and
so
yeah. And in fact, he did so many in first grade. He's now in second grade that the first grade teacher caught him and asked him to bring some of his books back in to inspire her next class.
Oh, wow.
Love that.
That's so cool.
So, and that's why we do this. We work because we know who's watching us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so important. Just the ability to demonstrate what it is that you do to your kids and them see you do it is one of the reasons why I go so hard in becoming an entrepreneur and building my business, because I don't want my children to, you know, have a typical 9-to-5. If that's what the Lord calls them to, fine, great. But I want them to go into ownership. I want them to be, you know, in charge of their destiny. So I love that. That's so awesome. It's so fun.
Where they have an option.
Yeah.
At least they know there's options.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it.
Yeah. At least they have an option. That's so funny because earlier when you were talking about being at home and having to stay home for your children, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to become an entrepreneur, just to have that freedom to be able to go to my kids' school and to, you know, show up for them when they have important things. And it's so funny because today my son actually had an event at his school today. And last night I was talking to him and I said, oh, you know, I have to go to Gabriel's school tomorrow because he's having this fun run. And he literally said to me, Mom, can you miss this one this time? The disrespect. I'm sitting here trying to make my time available so I can come and be present at your activity.
That's hilarious.
He told me to sit this one out. Oh, I didn't know how to take that one. But I mean, I'm happy that he notices that I'm always there and I'm present, and I'll try to do what I can do to make an effort to be there. But the fact that he said no, I was just, hurt my little heart a little bit. But I noticed that you said that you worked with your husband. That's one of the things that I aspire to do, to work with my husband in business. So how is it working with a spouse?
It is the best thing ever. And the worst thing, it can be the worst thing ever.
The best of both worlds.
It kind of can be. So some of it's really, really fun. I feel like doing this business has saved our marriage because it gave us the chance to travel with just the two of us. Mm-hmm. It gave us the chance to do a vision board, to talk about big picture of where we want our life to be. It gave us the opportunity to travel full time in the RV and have that flexibility. But some of it has been hard. So we had 2 children, and I miscarried at work, and we stopped having kids because of the stress of the work and everything else. I didn't feel like I could have a larger family. Both my husband and I I'm the oldest of 7. He's the 7th of 10 children. So we come from very large families. So to only have 2 was not where we had planned on. So when we started doing this business, that was actually one of my big goals. I had wrote on there, I wanted mom home from work. I wanted baby number 3. And we wanted to make, $10,000 a month. So I had all of these like big goals written, and I wrote it everywhere. I'm a big proponent of vision boards, of, seeing your vision, where you want to go. But working with my husband, one of the things we ran into was when I quit my job. So suddenly I had lost my alone time, and I didn't realize how much I needed that, because I would drive. I used to drive over an hour every day to go to work and back. So I had that alone time in my car by myself. And then suddenly I didn't, and I'm home and I'm pregnant. And the interesting thing about our business, especially pre-COVID, things have changed now, but pre-COVID was either we were home all the time together, or he was gone for a week. Mm-hmm. And we were running really, really hard with a big team. So we were he was kind of gone every other week. And I was pregnant, and I don't do super well pregnant. Okay. Let's see what else. I'm trying to remember when this happened. I think this was then I got pregnant again with, my 4th baby was a surprise. I had an IUD in, and I got pregnant. So I had some complications. I had some risks. I had a toddler, and I was, it was a little overwhelming. We had bought a little pizza business too, and it was losing money every day. So there was a lot happening. Sam's still traveling every other week. And we did some marriage counseling, and the guy gave us some good points. But then he's like, well, you should quit your business and go back to teaching school. And total shock. The guy had a very negative connotation of network marketing, which I've ran into before. But to me, it's been the best business model we've ever done, because we make money by helping other people make money. Mm. We make money by blessing lives for their health. And it's been so it was kind of a shock for us, that response. And so we reevaluated where we wanted to be. And it was funny, at the time, my friend called me and she said, we got this great deal to go to Italy. Do you guys want to go? And so we went. And part of that was so phenomenal, was to spend that time together and see a beautiful, amazing country. But to also go through all of these goals. Like, what do we want out of life? Where do we want to go? And then set proper expectations. And this is important no matter what you're in, even if you're just married. Who helps with what, who's doing what, and setting proper expectations so you know what's going on. If I've been up all night with a baby, realizing that I'm not making breakfast, Mm-hmm. And Sam helps a lot in the house and everything like that. But learning to communicate well with what your expectations are, what your needs are, what your goals are, and realizing that you're going to be in different levels sometimes. Sometimes you might be on fire and you're like building business. And he just had, an emotional thing really, really happen. We lost our nephew to suicide a couple years ago, and it rocked our world for a while. That was hard to get over. We've had some family, things happen that, have taken time away from how you felt, and giving that grace, remembering you're not each other's boss. You're building this together. What is your dream? One of my favorite quotes is, marriage is not spending the time gazing into each other's eyes. It's 2 people looking in the same goal, looking in the same direction with the same goal. And, you know, keeping that, remembering it's us against the problem, not me versus you. So we've had a lot with there to be able to travel with my husband to some amazing places that I would have never had the chance to without this business. To spend that time together, it has, I believe it's saved our marriage. It's given us the flexibility. It's made us both grow into a better version of ourselves. But you do have to remember there's a little bit of difference. So just make sure you have proper expectations. You know, whose job is it to take out the trash, and who's going to unload the dishwasher, and who's picking up a kid. You know? And we forgot kids before, so you know.
Same here. I love that. I absolutely love, and one thing that stuck out to me that I'm going to cherish is we are not each other's boss. And it's not just in business, but a lot of the things that you said applies to marriage as well. In marriage, we're not each other's boss.
Right.
Vandee, we appreciate everything that you have shared with us today.
Yes.
I honestly have a different view of network marketing because of you. Before, I had a tainted view because I tried it before and it just didn't work for me, or I've seen other people and how they do it. But because of your heart for moms and for other people and serving, you have really changed the way that I look at network marketing. So thank you for that. And before you leave, we cannot let you go without telling the people where we can find you out here in these social media streets.
I am at Vandee Flake on Instagram, on Facebook, on Clubhouse. My website is just vandeeflake.com, and you have all the ways you can contact me there. My DMs are open if someone has a question about network marketing. If someone has, because it's like any business, you want to evaluate the products, you want to evaluate the team you're going to be, and you want to set proper expectations. If someone says, join me and you're going to make $10,000 next month, run. That's a red flag,
She said,
yeah.
That's real.
I think network marketing done right can be the most beautiful business model ever. But when it's done wrong, it's a little car salesman, and you want to make sure that you are, that you look at all of those. My husband wouldn't be with me if we were doing makeup or jewelry. I wouldn't be this passionate if I didn't have something that was, literally changing people's lives. The reason I joined this is because there was an ABC investigative report done on our company. And that's one thing I tell everybody. I don't care what you do. You ought to watch that, because it's like, holy cow, And when I saw that, I went, well, whether or not I do this business, I'm taking that product. I am taking a preventative stance on my health to change my health, because we all, this only body we get. My cell phone breaks, I can go get a new one. I don't get another body. I got to take care of this one. And I don't do the best, but we've all got to do our part to take care of ourselves and to keep growing. But yeah, so I love it, Natalie. Keep an open mind, and and it can be an amazing business when it's done right.
Amen.
And that's the same with anything. So, but yeah, if anyone wants to contact me, my DMs are open. My book links on my website, and so I love to chat with people. So thank you for having me, you guys.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. Listen, Mom CEO. Yes, we are bringing you some fantastic people every single week, and it just gets better. It just gets better. So thank you, Vandee. And until next time, Laura, you have any church announcements? Any last minute comments?
No, I'm just soaking it all in.
I know, right?
I don't have any last minute announcements or anything, but thank you so much for sharing your story and your tips and just your experiences. It's so valuable, especially since you've been in business for, almost 10 years, coming up 10 years. That is amazing. A lot of people do not stay in business that long. So just the fact that you made it to this anniversary deserves to be celebrated. So congratulations again.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. And until next time, Mom CEOs, we'll catch y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, sis. Listen, as kingdom entrepreneurs, God is calling us to rise up and walk out our God-given purposes. We can no longer give excuses. Why? Because our excellence and our success depends on us staying at the Father's feet to receive all that He has for us in order to walk out our purposes. We can no longer hide behind social media. We can't hide behind stale, stagnant strategies. And we can't even depend on influencers to give us the visibility and power that we need to move forward in our businesses. God is giving us, yes, you and me, the ultimate blueprint for our businesses in order to accelerate our brand to the next level. And He's doing that through fresh manna. Yes, fresh manna. This is going to be a time for us to get activated and rejuvenated so that we can receive divine connections from God as we work out our businesses during the worship weekend. Don't miss it. Catch it now.